Hi everyone, I'm the plant propagator and welcome to my channel. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about what I do, please subscribe to my channel. Today, if you can tell, I am back in the laboratory in Southwest Florida. And I shouldn't have come in today. It's been just an awful day all the way around. I mean, it's been nice to see things. It's nice coming in. But I've got about 5 or 6 strikes already against me, and after I'm done with this, I am just out of here. So the first strike was that I got here, got up bright and early, and came to the laboratory, and did not have access to the key. So the key box that normally I get into to get the key to get in the laboratory, someone had changed the combination on it, and I couldn't get in. So I waited around, got here early, and then waited around for someone to let me in. And that was still okay. But that was only the first strike. So today what I did is I shot videos of seed sterilization and capsule sterilization from orchids that I made crosses of. The orchid that I made a cross of is Ports of Paradise Emerald Isle, which is a really nice green flowering orchid. Cattleya is fairly large. The flower is ruffled. It's very fragrant, and it's just a nice, really nice plant. So I had a couple of capsules on that plant that had been maturing, and when I came back here to Southwest Florida, one of the capsules had started to split. And that's okay. That's an indicator usually that the capsule is ready and that the seeds within the capsule itself are ready to go. And so there was another capsule that was on the same plant that I had pollinated 1 month later, and it was still green. So I pulled off both capsules and then brought them in the laboratory for seed sterilization, or where the capsule had not split, I did capsule sterilization and excised the seed. And then I made videos of all this, and the videos were great, except for some reason I have a new, I don't know if you could tell, I've got a new mic system that I've been trying, and the microphone doesn't work really well in the hood. The background noise from the hood for some reason just drowns out everything, and the microphone was really good at picking up the hood noise and not as good at picking me up. So I made a few videos, listened to them, I couldn't hear, and that's why I'm here talking to you. So that was strike 2, is that my new mic, and I haven't figured out how to take care of it. So it took me a while to figure out what it was. I thought I'd hooked it up wrong because it was new for me. But anyway, what I ended up doing was isolating the seed and sterilizing those. And the seeds that I isolated from the capsule that had split, I sterilized those seeds in 10% Clorox bleach for about 15 minutes. Sometimes I'll use 20 minutes, but this capsule had just started to split, so I thought most of the seeds in there were still fairly well protected. It had not been exposed to rain, so the water had not got inside, so I thought it was a pretty clean source. So it's okay to use a little bit lower exposure to the Clorox solution. So I took those, took the seed from the capsules, sterilized those, and then washed those with water 4 to 5 times, and then took a look at how those looked in the tubes that I had sterilized them in and was washing them in. And in those tubes I had floaters, after I spun them down even in a microcentrifuge, I had floaters and sinkers. And floaters are usually the seeds that are not viable. The sinkers that have the good viable embryos in them, the big embryos, they tend to be a little more dense. So I had floaters and sinkers. So what I did was I separated out I poured off the floaters first and put those in a plate, and then I plated out the sinkers, the ones that were at the bottom of the microfuge tube. In looking at the floaters, I took a look at those first, and the floaters, there were a lot of seed in there. but the floaters did not have what I could recognize as viable embryos inside. And that was really disappointing. And I think that's up to strike 3 right there. There were not, and it's disappointing because I made the pollination 6 months ago. I'd waited for the capsule to get big. I watched my plants, and the capsule was maturing nicely, and then it also split a little bit, which was okay. But you could see you could see the white seed, the cream-colored seed inside. But after 6 months of waiting for that seed, I did not see any embryos in there, and that was the floaters. Now back to the sinkers. I also took a look at the sinkers. And those there were also no embryos in those seeds. Now, there may be some. I may have to wait. I did take a pretty good look at them, and I'm good at identifying the embryos within those seeds. But I took a close look, and I didn't see any embryos. I still will wait maybe 3 to 4 weeks just to make sure that there's nothing in there. But both the floaters and the sinkers from that first split seed capsule, it does not look like there's any viable seed in that capsule. So that was disappointing. All right, so then I sterilized the capsule that had not split, and this was a green capsule. Those had been pollinated 5 months ago, and those looked like they were going to be fine. I opened that. I sterilized that seed capsule in 50% bleach, which is what I typically use, for 25 minutes. And that I washed with sterile water, and I cut open the seed capsule and revealed what was inside. And what was inside, again, appeared to be nice seeds, and I pulled those out, placed those also in my microfuse tube, shook them up to resuspend those, and then plated those out as well. And another disappointment is that the seed that was in the capsule that was 5 months old from the same parent plant, no viable embryos that I could tell. So I take a look at these are actually, this is the microscope that I use right here, and I take a look at them right here in the laboratory, and it's pretty easy to see what's going on. It's hard to collect images on this scope. But you can see what's going on, and there were no clear embryos in there. And again, it's the same thing. I'll wait 3 to 4 weeks to see if there are any embryos that develop in there, but I looked at them pretty carefully and I didn't see a thing. Now, I don't know if I harvested them too early or whether the orchid that I use as the female parent just isn't going to make a good cross. But that just happens. That just kind of goes on. So I don't know what strike I'm up to now, but that's a lot. These things happen. You do end up getting some non-viable after waiting 5 months, 6 months. It's the reason that people love orchids, that they're really so special, is that sometimes they're so slow growing. They take a long time to flower. When you make a cross, it takes a long time for that seed capsule to mature, and sometimes you wait that amount of time, you culture the seed, and you get nothing after all that time. But you just keep on going, and you keep on pressing forward. I have additional seed capsules from some of the plants that are in my collection here. I'm planning. I got a lot of things flowering now, so I'm planning on making more crosses. I will also put a video together to show you how I make my crosses as well. Even though you might not want to pay attention because these last 2 crosses didn't work out very well. But it may just not have been a good female parent, or there may have been some incompatibility issues or something else going on. The final strike, and I don't know what I'm up to, 5, 6, 7, is that I also just recorded the video that I'm sharing with you right now. The previous recording, I had my new microphone set up plugged into the wrong port on my transmitter, so that also just didn't work out. And I just need to go home. It's the final thing. I need to go home, look at my orchids, smell the wonderful fragrance, and call it an end to this day. So that's all I have for today. I'll show you some some good things a little later on. The orchids here, the seedlings here are looking really good. They continue to grow. There's been a lot of new things, a lot of new growth in my orchids that I have in flasks here, and I'll share those with you later. Right now, I just wanted to tell you that the days are going to get better because today was just awful. So that's all I have for today. If you're interested in learning more about what I do, maybe some successes in the future instead of the failures that I have today, please subscribe to my channel. And happy propagating.